today, thank you again for another session of Moodle training. Today, we're going to focus more on assessment and how to set different type of assessment on Moodle. Okay. So we will start with few assumptions. The first assumption is that everybody knows how to log in onto Moodle and how to get the Moodle working. So because we covered that already in the past. And then the second assumption is that nobody here knows how to set up any quiz or assessment on Moodle. So we're going to start from how to set up a question, how to the different type of questions, how to save questions on Moodle, how to set up an assignment, because that's an easy one, and how to make an assessment available to students for a particular time frame. Okay. So let me see if I can start with sharing my page. Okay. I think you can see that. All right. So the procedure is still the same. So if you have any question, kindly please unmute yourself, and then you'll be in a position to speak. For now, everybody is muted. And again, I'm going to do as in the past. So I'm going to go ahead and after any major section, after covering one aspect of the quiz, of the training, I'm going to stop and see if we have any questions. Let's see, because it's not opening up. I'm having some technological issues. My internet. Oh, okay. That's the problem. Okay, I found it. Okay, sorry. I'll show you sort of some stuff. Okay. Now it's sorted. All right. So what we're gonna do is we will start with these are a couple of things we did last time we met, is how to log in a Moodle, how to set up your course, how to upload, send a message to the students, interact with students, even set up a couple of quizzes. Okay. Now I understand that some people are here for the first time, so I'm not gonna go through all that again. All I'm gonna do is to start all the assessment afresh. So I'll start with the easy one, obviously is setting up of assignment, because that should be the first thing we're gonna do, and then we go into the quiz. Okay. As you remember, before you do anything, before you are allowed to write anything or type anything on Moodle, you need to turn on this page, this option here, it's editing on. So you will click over there. Oh, sorry, I locked that for a long time. Okay, so we click over there, and then this will allow us now to set up anything that we want on our page. Okay. So since we want to upload an assignment, for example, so what we do is we add an activity. We come over there and add an activity here. And in our case, it's assignment. So we click on assignment. As you can see, once you click any option over there, there is more help opening up. So if you want to know more on how to do it and whatnot on your own, you can always click on there, and then they will explain in much detail. Okay. So in our case, let's do it this way. Okay. Okay. So what now is that description, it can be anything that you want your student to see when they click on assignment. So just to show like how it looks like. So maybe let me say this is training. Okay, and I want this to display. So I want it to display. So I'm gonna click that on the page. And then if you have a file, like a question that you want to upload, you can obviously go there and then you can upload. For now, let me not put that, but obviously you can find your file and upload it. Okay. And then these are the very important parts, is how long we want this assignment to be accessible to students, allow submission from, let's say today is the 20th, right? So we say maybe from today at 4, they should start submitting up until maybe you give them 1 week for again. But again, it's up to you. And then these, so you have a cutoff time. You have, this will remind you to mark, remind me to grade by this date. So if you haven't submitted your grading, the system will remind you. Okay, and then under submission type, do you want them to type or do you want them to submit a file? So if it's a file, most of the time it's a file. So we click on file, and then by default that will go off. And then how many files you want them to upload? So maybe they want to have to upload the main assignment with some pictures and whatnot. So it's up to you, maybe 2, 3, 4 files or whatever. That's you. And then the maximum size, 20 megabytes, depending on how big your assignment will be. This is the biggest I can see here. These are only small. Okay. And then what type file that you accepted. So usually people accept PDF or the document, or you can just say anything. That is, again, from one course to another, that can vary. All right. And usually things at the bottom here, you don't have to set anything, but let's just go through them quickly and see what's going on. Okay, so this is a feedback type, comment. This is by default. Submission setting. Again, you can go through them again to see what they do. And then obviously, once you click on this question mark, they're going to give you the description of each of them. What do they do? Okay. Okay, so you can just see and then tick, choose whatever that it's available to you, or the one that you think is most appropriate for your assignment. You can just tick accordingly. And then if they are submitting in groups, you already divide them into groups. And remember, we did the group last time. So if you have that, then you're going to come here and then you're going to say yes, depending on if it's a group assignment or personal assignment. And then, yeah, so grading. And again, these normally they are already set by default. You don't have to change anything unless, of course, you want any specific details to be changed. Then you're going to come and adjust it accordingly. Okay. So let's assume you have done everything here, and then it's now save and return to course. Okay, put it in the hand. All right, so this is what we are showing. You can see the difference between these ones and that one. Okay, these ones are PDFs that I was uploading, and this one is them. They need to submit something to me. Okay, so let's turn off this. So now, if we click on that, it's going to give you a summary. I have 83 students in this class, and none of them are submitted, and then none of them need grading, and then all these details that should be shown. Now, let's assume that you want to grade or you want to mark, and then you have any done. So you come there and on one particular assignment for a student, and then you grade. This is what you will see. information will be appearing here, and then you can give your feedback over there, and then you're gonna give your grading there at the end of your marking. So you're gonna see whatever the student wrote here, and then you give your feedback over there, and then you grade. And then remember, before you save the changes, you always need to untick that. Otherwise, the student will be notified as soon as you finish marking one student, is going to get a message. So you just untick that, and then you save and move to the next student. Okay. That's pretty much a summary of assignments. Now I'm going to leave it maybe with a question before we move on. Thank you for listening. That was assignment, and then it's very easy and very straightforward. As you can see, no difficulties on it. Okay, I see somebody with raise their hand there. Ila, please.
Hi, good morning. Sorry, just a question. Do you have to grade assignment in the Moodle, or can you use this assignment feature only for the posting assignment and collecting the student's result? And afterwards, I will just grade it somewhere else and communicate information to students.
Okay, let me try to first see if I understand your question. So you mean they submit online, but you maybe download, print them out, and then you
yes.
grade them, and then you can do that. You can download them. It's up to you. If you want them to be online, or you can print them out, grade them, and then save your marks, maybe, I don't know, on an Excel sheet, and then upload on SMS. That is up to you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yes, thank you. This is John. In assignments involving numerical work, the student have offline time and they can copy a few things. Is it possible to set an assignment where each student have a parameter which is unique to them? For example, based on their student number.
Okay, that's thank you so much, John. That will come in my testing in the assessment, the next part under the test. So you can set it instead of you have a lot of options to give students, even the entire class, different values. So they have the same questions, but everybody will get different values. So you have that option when we're gonna see in the next part when you're setting quiz. So you can play around with that.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Do you have any other questions? Okay. All right. Thanks. Now, the next part that I wanted to cover is question bank. How do we use question bank? How do we save our question under question bank? So the reason why I do it before we go to quiz, because I'm also going to show you how to import questions from the question bank through your quiz while you have a quiz or test for students. So it's very important that we see question bank first. Right. So we're going to turn this one on again. Scroll down and so once we click on there, yeah, so we're gonna see question bank. It's gonna show you something like that. All right. So these are the questions that I have under my question bank. Now, there's another thing that I want to show you. You have categories under question bank, and then you have important experts. So categories, for those of you who were with me last time, it's where you have, it gives you, you can put your question under categories. For example, you are teaching math, you say, these are the questions in chapter 1, and these are the questions in chapter 2, and then these are the questions in chapter 3, and so forth. So what you do, you set them like that. So chapter 1, like in my case, in chapter 1, I have 5 questions, chapter 2, I have 5 questions, and so forth. Now, how do you set them like that? So once you click under categories, right, you come over here and then you put the name of the category that you want to add. Let's say, for example, chapter 3. Okay, so let's say the name of this category is chapter 3. I put chapter 3, and then you can add something here if you want, or you don't have to. It's not really needed. And then once you add it, you will see chapter 3 category showing up over there. And then it has no questions. So if you want to add questions in chapter 3, so you click on it. And there we go. Now you start adding questions. All right, so adding questions is very easy. So you just create new questions, and then you have all these options. So if you want to try one, you can do that. And then if you have saved your questions somewhere, maybe in a Word document, and then you just want to import them from your Word document into Moodle, so it's easy. Again, you just need to convert a few steps. Maybe just find the document quickly, so I can show you that. Wait one sec. Okay, so let's assume you have. Oh, I need to share this. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay, so can you see the text? Okay. So you are saying you have a question, you're going to appear, you have something like this, and then you want to import this into you want to import this into Moodle. So first of all, I'm only going to try to import the straightforward question. I'm going to remove the ones with images because I'm going to show you those ones separately. I'm just going to let's use the first part, the one with no images, right? Of course, image is a bit different. It's not going to go together with this one, right? So let me see one. This will be, okay. So now let's assume you have a multiple questions like that, multiple choice questions like this, right? So you see what I did first is you remove all those first parts like test 1 or questions in chapter 1 and everything. So you just start straight from the questions. So you have question 1, question 2, question 3, and so forth. Okay. And then what else you can see here, you see that I remove the numbering. So there is no number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So I remove them. And then what else I did is the options on my multiple choice, they are all capital letter. So it's ABCD in capital letter, right? So those are the things you need to do. Number 1, remove all the headings. So start from question 1, and then take question 2, and then number 2, you remove the numbering of your questions. Okay, so it becomes something like that. And then number 3, your options, they need to be in capital alphabetical letter, capital letter. So you do it like that. And then straight after your last option, you put your answer. So what's the true answer? So like that, just like this also. Okay, so this is what you do for all your questions. This, I'm talking about multiple choice only here. Okay, I'm gonna show the other one just now. So let's now focus on multiple choice for now. Okay. So, and then you want to now import this one, this list of questions into your question bank. So what we need to do, we need to convert it into plain text. So what we do is we save as desktop, and then we say plain text. Okay. Yeah. All right. So now let me go check on the desktop if it's there and it's looking the way I want it to look. Okay. Okay. All right. So something like that. It's the way you want it to be. So you are happy with that. Okay. Now you go back to your Moodle. Okay. Now we go back to the Moodle now. I want now to import those questions and put them under chapter 3. Okay. So what I do is I come back here. I'm under this category chapter 3. You check it's still under chapter 3. So I come down here and click on import. Okay. This type of question obviously is this format. So we click on that format. And then we find a file that we just converted, of course, on the desktop. That's the one. Okay. Include the file. Import. All right. So the questions will appear like that. Let's continue. Now, we now see now under our chapter 3, we've got these questions that we just imported. All right. So if you have other questions that you did not import, like the one I showed you with no with images and stuff, so you come and create those ones you do manually. So you do create. Okay, so I'm going to show you just now how to create questions that have images in a few minutes from now. Okay. All right. So once you are happy, you import all the questions, and then now let's go back to the course and try to create just one multiple choice test and see how it's going to look like. The quiz, we search again, we go add an activity, we look for quiz here. There's quiz. Again, just as I said, if you do not know more about something, Moodle will assist you. Just click on there, and it's going to open up the entire page explaining all these things in detail. All right, so you add one. So let's say multiple choice. Okay, and then we maybe say them that it's a 10-minute question, 10 minutes quiz, and then I want it to appear. All right, and now you can see what I'm doing now. This now I'm setting up a quiz. These now are settings for the quiz, so we need to be very vigilant because this is also another thing. But if we are setting the quiz, and then we want it to appear to students for a certain period of time. So we come under timing, and then I want the quiz to be available maybe for 2 days. And then if, then I will give students maybe only today and tomorrow. You must make sure you finish your quiz by tomorrow, for example. So I say it's starting today at 10:30. Come here and enable that, open quiz at 10:30. Days later, so the same as 22nd, right? 2 days later at 10:30 again, I close it. So they have literally 48 hours to finish it, to write the quiz, and then it's only 10 minutes. So So once you start, you're only given 10 minutes to write a quiz. Okay. So, and then if it's a quiz, where are we? So I think this is automatically when it expires, yes. And then the keyword quiz. Then here it's up to you which options you want to choose, but I normally just close it. Yeah, and leave it on that one, on the default one. And then grading, how many times they can attempt the quiz. Obviously, you don't want to say they must try it unlimited times. So maybe you're going to say once or twice. It's up to you. If it's only a quiz that it's for marks and whatnot, then it's only one time. But if you want them to do it twice or whatever, then it's up to you. But let's just assume it's one time. And then the layout is every question on the new page. Okay. If we click on this, it's fine. We'll close that. Questions behavior. Okay, so since this one is a multiple choice, I saw a hand raise. I'm going to attempt to just now. Since this is a multiple choice, you have a lot of questions and a couple of options there. So here they are telling you they want to shuffle the options within the question. So if you say yes, then you're going to have different options. The answer will be A for this student, might be B for the other student. So we always put it in yes, yeah. But it's up to you again if you want everybody to try the same thing. Okay. And then how question behaves. So you said you want to defer the feedback or adaptive mode. Okay. So deferred feedback is when you they see the right answers and whatnot, and if they pass or fail only at the end. Okay. Not as they are writing, they can see whether they are right or wrong or not. This one is defer the feedback right when they finish. That's fine. And then if you choose that, and then we open review options. So since you open it for 2 days, there's a possibility that somebody will write today and another one will write tomorrow and the other one after tomorrow. So you don't want the one who wrote today to tell the other student the marks, the questions if they see their marks already. So what we do is we untick everything here. So we untick everything. So we don't want them to be seeing whether they fail or pass immediately. Only when everything is closed, then they can see something. So what we do is you untick everything. But again, you can read them and then see what is applicable to you and to a particular assessment. So if it's for marks, obviously you untick everything. So they can only see whether they failed or passed once everybody submitted. Okay. Under appearance, I don't think we change anything here. Yeah. Extra restrictions. This is if you have a password and then they are in class, or you want them only certain, to use a certain password to write a test. Unfortunately, you cannot give every student different passwords, so it's going to be one password for the entire class. So you put the password over there. And I believe if you click on show more, here, browser security. Yeah. So this one, it doesn't work for everybody, but it's a good option to have. This one, if you click here, this is what they tell you. They say it will start with student in JavaScript if it's enabled, and then the quiz will appear in a pop-up. So it's going to close the entire screen, and then students will not be able to navigate and then go to other pages like on Google or anything like that, and then it's going to prevent them to use like copy and paste. So if you click on this one, okay. It does work sometimes if they've got the JavaScript security already installed on their computer. Otherwise, it doesn't work. But it's always good to have it if you don't want them to copy from Google or anything like that. Okay, so that is fine. And I believe the rest here is the same. Here is feedback that you want to show. Obviously, you don't really have to put something, but you can always put something to encourage students. And then the rest here, I don't think you change anything. Okay, so this is setting of the test, and then you save and return. Okay. Before I add questions on this one, I saw a hand from Ellie. Can you please, what was the question?
On timing, there's something about grace period. What does that mean?
Oh, okay. Let's go back. Oh, well, here, grace period. Yeah, here you see, you gave them like a closing date, like 10:30. But if somebody submits maybe 10 minutes after the closing time, do you give them that grace period, or you are fixed that this is the time that everybody must submit, or you're gonna maybe put a 5 minutes extra? So this is what they said.
Thanks.
Sorry, Roger. I was knocked out of Zoom when you were explaining about the network address. Can you just briefly repeat that, please?
The what?
About the network address.
The network address.
You were talking about the password and then the network
Okay,
address.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry.
I think it was under appearance. No, under yeah, this one. Okay.
Restrict access.
Yes. So this one, you don't really need to put a password, but if you want, you can maybe put a password and tell them maybe give a password for the test. For you to open the test, you need to enter a certain password. And again, this password, it's only one password for the entire class. So you can't say maybe for every student different password. So it's only one password for the entire class. Okay. Sometimes it becomes like, okay, I don't have to because everybody will have it anyway, or you only want to give to a certain class, those who attend the class, for example, and then you are writing within the class, and then that one is easy. But if it's kind of like an assignment now, I mean, it's not really needed. Okay. And then the thing that actually I mentioned here is about this one here. It's about the Java. So once you activate this one, you put full screen pop-up. So ideally, if everything works properly and then the JavaScript on their computer is installed and up to date, what will happen is that it's going to be like a app. And then they won't be able to go to Google, they won't be able to open the notes to copy and paste from any other website. So it does work, and then so it depends on what installed in the computer. So, thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
For me, I missed out the initial document questions. You prepared them in Word. What did you use to convert it for loading?
I used plain text.
Or plain text?
Yes, plain text.
Where do I find that on the?
When you save as.
You save as. Okay, it's a document.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's for Microsoft. You save as, and then you open the option at the bottom. You're gonna see plain text.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Roger, sorry, just one other thing. On browser security, so you're saying if you select that full screen pop-up, they won't be able to go out of the screen to quickly Google.
Yeah, they won't be able to. They won't be able to. If their JavaScript security is up to date.
And if they've got notes on their computers, they couldn't look at that either, or they.
I don't get that one. If they what?
If they've got notes like on their computer, if they've downloaded them, you could switch between screens. It doesn't take over the whole.
They won't. Ideally, it's not, because if you hit here, if you click on this question mark, this is what they're telling you. So ideally, it's not going to work. It's not. It's only going to be showing the test until they finish.
Thanks.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. It's Mark here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Can I just guard against people using that JavaScript security thing? It's lovely if it works, but like you said, unless they've got the latest, greatest Java installed, it won't work. It'll crash the machine. It'll throw Java errors at them. It'll send them off and download huge Java files in the middle of doing the quiz and all sorts of stuff like that. So unless you're absolutely desperate and you're sure the students have got it and it's up to date and it's working, don't do it. Even on the LANs, it doesn't work at Varsity. So on their personal computers, it's highly unlikely to be successful.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I saw your hand up earlier, yes?
Hi, sorry.
Okay, Ilya, can go.
Can you have a random choice of, for example, not only the answers, but for example, the question number one? Can I prepare few versions of the question number one, and it's for the different students, it will be randomly chosen?
Yes, definitely. I'll show. That's what I'm going to show next. Yeah, it's there.
Sorry, Roger. About again that part of the security. If I use browser security, for example, they can have a problem by using the smartphone. I don't know, is a question. I don't know.
Okay. So you say if you put this browser security and then they are using on the cell phone, what will be the implication?
Yeah, because some of my students actually have the smartphone. Maybe they don't have laptop, so I don't know if it's work or not.
Yeah, so as I said, this is a very tricky one. It might or might not work. Okay, as they advised us earlier not to use it, unless of course you're sure that they all, let's say you are with them in the LAN, and then you are assured with the LAN manager the Java stuff, then you can go ahead and do that. But if they are doing from home, people are having computers which are very old and they don't have internet to update everything, and some of them are using cell phones, so it's always, I mean, it's not advisable obviously to use this one because it might have a lot of problems for the students. So we just leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hi, Roger, I've got a question.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yes, Roger, when you were importing the question and you were about to load it here, you selected a file type somewhere that was like 8can. You went over that quickly, and I kind of missed the the list of what was there and why you selected the one at the top, 8can or something like that.
Okay, I'm gonna go back just now. I'm gonna go back on that so you can see. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Do you have any other questions? Okay, so this is set up of a test. Okay, so once you are happy with that, so before I add a question, let me just go back to this question bank. I get it. Bank. So let me try to import so you can see what are the other options. So let's go into chapter 3, category chapter 3. Okay, so I want to import. So you click on import, and then these are the options, the file types that are available. Okay, so if since in our case we converted into the plain text file, so this is the one that you're going to have to choose the file type. But if you have other type files, obviously you can choose them accordingly. And then once you select,
thank you.
Yeah, and then you select it, and then it's going to come imported automatically. Right. Do we have any other questions? Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the all right. So we are here, and then this is the test that we're still editing. We just finished setting the quiz, but now there are no questions in the quiz, so it's just a quiz that we just set. And then you're only allowed to do it once, and then this is when you're opening it, and then this is when you're closing, and it's a 10-minute test. So there are no questions. Now, you want to add questions in your quiz. So what is okay. And now, here now you add your question. So if you check on your right-hand side here, you add functions. So once you click on it, you've got three options. One is to add a new question. So once you click on it, it's going to open up the questions for, format from Moodle, which is, I don't want to show now, that will be the next one. Now I want to show you how to import from question bank and random questions. So this one is going to be on the next topic that you're going to go through. Okay, so question bank, you know already question bank because we saved our questions from question bank now. Now, let's use random question. Random question is the one that I think we had a question like you want students to write random questions. You've already saved your questions on to the question bank. And now you want maybe students to write different questions. Okay, so what we do is we say, click on random question. And then bear in mind that this will go only one by one. So you can't, okay, so let's say for example, I say I want maybe 4 questions, and then I want it to be random. So it's gonna have 4 questions, random. You've got, choose the category now where you want to pick it. So if it's from chapter 1, then you choose chapter 1, right? Now, what will happen is that it's gonna choose in chapter 1 4 random questions for students. So let's say you have 20 questions in chapter 1, and then you said, I want a quiz of 4 questions, and then it will be randomly for students. So just choose this way, and then you go to add the question. Okay, so it's gonna be like this. So different questions for every student. Okay. Now, check here. The default set for a question is 1 mark, okay, which makes it a total of 4, but the quiz default is 10 marks. So always make sure that whatever that's here, it's the same there. So there is no different set. So let's just work with this 1, 1, 1, 1. So let's say it's out of 4 there. All right, so if you are happy with this, you go ahead. But again, if you just want to add another question, like let's say another question, but now I don't want it to be random. I want the entire class to write this particular one question. So I'm gonna put, I already saved it somewhere. So what I do is I come here and then maybe it's under here. Okay, and then I add that question. The entire class will see that question. So you have your 4 random questions, and then the entire class will write this one. Okay, you are happy with that? Then this is out of 6 now, because this one is a 2-mark question. So what I do is I change that to 6. Okay, so if you are happy with that, then you're done. Go back to your okay. Before we test this, if it's working, do we have any questions? Yes, Elia.
Hi, sorry. And one more question on the question editing. Do you know, did the Moodle support via MathJax or something like that, a LaTeX editing? Or if I want the questions with formulas, I have to use it as the pictures?
Okay, when I'm creating questions with pictures, you will see that, because there are a couple of functions that I haven't shown you yet, so, but you will see. And then I think maybe your question will be more relevant in that time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now let's see now what the test will look like. So we've already put our questions in, now we are happy. So let's try it out. So, okay, once you click on preview, they give you that is a 10-minute point. So you start, it only gives you 10 minutes. So you're happy. All right, so it's gonna be like that, and then I don't know. So let's go. Okay, and while I'm doing this, if it's always advisable, obviously, for you to do the way we are doing it. So you test the quiz if it's going okay. And if you find a mistake maybe on a question like that, you can always come here and edit the question and then fix it. You know, so there's an option for you to do it. But students don't do that. They won't see that. This is for you as the quiz setter to see that option to edit if there's any mistake before you set it up. Okay? Yeah, and then that. Okay. Right, and then once you are happy, this is how it's going to show them, and then submit. Okay. All right, so this one goes, and then as you can see, there are no feedback because we said feedback will only be given once everybody is submitted. That's why it only shows you your answers, and then that you are done, you submitted, and now you're going to wait for the feedback only when everybody is done. If you chose feedback immediately, then you're going to see whether you failed or passed the test. Okay. And then after that, it's done, then obviously you're done. Okay. So I don't know if we have any question before we move on to the next part of today's question.
Yes, Roger.
Yes.
This one is kind of a general question and is to do with problematic students. You know, say, you know, you have set it for maybe, you know, 2 attempts. And, you know, the student then comes around and says, in both cases, my connection dropped whilst I was doing the quiz. Now, how do we handle such problematic cases?
Okay, so he said that, you know, my network was interrupted while I was writing the test or something like that.
Yes.
Okay, that one obviously you can check with ICS. For every log that you go on Moodle, it's registered under their system. So you can actually see, they will ask the student details and then email. I think there's an ICS number somewhere in Moodle Assist that you email them, ICS support, and then they will check if the student actually logged in on that day, as we said, and if they actually attempted to do the test and it was blocked out or whatnot. They will be able to see, and then once everything is confirmed, then it's up to you how you're going to do what you're going to do for the student. Will you ask them to do it again or not? So that's up to you, but you can always confirm with ICS if whatever the student is saying is right or wrong.
Thank you.
Thanks. I see Dad raise their hand.
Roger.
Yes.
I just want to check with you because you said when you are doing the questions, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, there's a lot of echo.
Okay, when you're doing the questions, you need to put the answers below. I don't see them on your, after you uploaded them.
Okay, are you using your phone and your laptop at the same time?
No, I'm using my computer, but the other computer, I can't hear it. So I have 2 computers set up.
Oh, that's a feedback. Okay. Please repeat your question because I struggled to hear that.
What do I do now?
Maybe you can switch off one computer or maybe mute one computer while you're speaking.
No, I've moved to one computer.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm saying, when you were doing the question bank, after the items, there was an answer below.
Yes.
Now, when you upload it onto Moodle, what happens to those answers?
Rhoda, can I answer that?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Those answers will be used to assess the students' responses. They're not supposed to, the answers are maintained in the background. They're not there for the students to view them. But then the students' responses will be gauged against the answers. They'll be used to give the students marks.
Yeah.
Can I also mention, Roger, for Aidan's question?
Yeah, to assist with that, let me change something quickly.
All right.
Let me just change this so that you can see that the assessment funnel. So once you finish, you can actually see your marks and you can see whether you are wrong or right. So let's just change that. So you will see that that's where those answers go. They are not to appear, but okay, I need to change something else. Okay, I'm just changing just for the purpose of this. Okay. So this here, so that I can be able to do it again. All right. So now after changing like this, right? So let's see Microsoft. Okay. Let us review. Okay. So those answers, obviously they won't show here, but they are in there. So let's see. All right. So once you're done, okay. Now you see those answers. Now they help the system use them to evaluate you. So they tell you you are right there. That's the correct answer, and I'm wrong there. The correct answer is that. I'm wrong there. The correct answer is that. I'm wrong. The correct answer is this, and then I'm right there. And then based on my answers, what did I get? 3 out of 6, and I got a 50%. So I don't have to. It's the way you set. If you want them to see the results as this, then they'll be able to see it. Otherwise, the answers they want, the student won't see it. The system will use them to evaluate the student. All right. Do we have any other questions?
I'll just respond to Aidan. Yeah, he asked about access. Also, within the user function on the right-hand side, you're able to get the log details of every student. Yeah, so you can see, for instance, if a student logged in for, say, for 5 minutes out of 10 minutes, then when they logged in, when they logged out, and if their complaint is valid.
Yeah. So you can be able to see that under the log. And then if it's a very serious network was cut off and was not, ICS will be able to tell you, like, when the student logged out or whatever, what was the student doing at that particular instant. So if it was during the test, they will be able to see that it was cut off during the test. Then yeah, you can evaluate from there. I saw a hand by that. I don't know if it's still asking or okay now. Okay.
Roger?
Yes, hello?
Hi, just a question, I may have missed it. I see that it's highlighting, in the preview, it highlights the correct answer in capital letters. I assume that it doesn't do that in the real version that the students see.
Okay, no, this was just me actually setting up this quiz, but otherwise you don't have to do this. This is at the end of the quiz, it's gonna highlight the right. It's gonna highlight what you answered. The student answered this, and then it's gonna highlight and say this is the right one, or like in this case, this is wrong. You know, the right answer is this one.
I think I noticed in the quiz when you were testing it, the correct option was in capital letters, not in the preview version.
Yeah, no. You see, when I was typing, if you check on my Word document, my Word document was typed that way. I typed the correct answers into capital letter so that I can remember to when I'm putting them here. But you don't have to do this. You see, like for example here, I typed this on my Word document is in capital letter, but you don't have to do that. You can put everything in small letters, and then the system won't change it into capital letter. No, the system will keep it as it is in small letters. It's just unfortunate that I chose to type in capital letter, and then it appears the system is changing it. No, the system does not change it.
Oh, Roger, maybe you can just quickly edit the question and put it in small letters and show.
Okay. All right. So let's just edit this. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Z. All right. So let's just change all of it and put another one. Alcohol. And whatever. I don't know anything. So if you change that, you see. So it doesn't change into capital letter. It just pick the correct answer and then put it the way it is.
Thank you.
Thanks. Do we have any other questions?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, my question is, if the quiz is one attempt and the student tries it and maybe finishes in 5 minutes and they realize they put a wrong answer and they want to edit, can they do that?
Once they already submitted?
Maybe just before they submit, or if they've submitted?
Okay, if before they submit, you can go back and do it again. Okay, let me just go. If you already submitted, I don't think that the system will allow you. The system only allows you, let me show you something. Let's just assume this is my answers, right? These are my answers. And then let's assume it's like this, like that. Okay. And I'm at this stage, and then I realize that I made a mistake somewhere. I can always return and try it again. But once I said you submit this one, I don't think it's gonna allow you to do it again. But here I can go back and do it again, and go to the previous page and do it again. But once you finish and submit here, then it's done.
Okay.
Hi, Roger.
Yes, hello?
I wanted to ask, when you set up the Word document, what happens if your multiple choice question has more than one correct answer? Because the one you showed us, it's got one correct answer, but what happens if there is two correct answers?
You've got two correct answers, and
yeah. Can you import it anywhere? Yes.
That one I never tried the two answers, and then student can answer A or B.
No, A and B.
Roger, can I help? Yes, Moodle allows you to have multi-answer, multiple choice questions. So I think when you are setting the question, you can click whether you want it to be a multi-answer or just a single answer.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that function, but if you're setting up a Word document, when you import the document, Roger showed that you have your questions and then you have the correct answer. What would you do if you have more than one? How would you set it up?
I think in that case, we can actually, instead of importing that one, we can actually type it now the way we want to show it, and create a new question, and then you choose multiple answers.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Instead of importing, you just type it directly.
You just add it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. All right. Is there any other question before we forget somebody? Okay. All right. Now, this is multiple choice, and then yeah, it took a couple of minutes as expected. Let's now go into different type of questions now. Is when you have to add a question. When you have to add a question, right? So let's create another quiz. This time around, we want to do a lot of setting of the quiz because you know how to do that already. As I said, So I'm going to leave all of this. I'm assuming that you know how to set this already. So I'm just going to leave it like that, because now what is important is to add questions. All right, so now we want to add questions. Okay, now I want to add a new question. Okay, so we have different types of questions. So we've got multiple choice, matching, short answers, and so forth. We've got a lot of them here. All right, so again, we've already done importing a multiple choice, but let's see how we can create a multiple choice. That's one, and then I'm gonna do maybe two more, and then we're gonna leave it there. So this will be the first one that we're gonna do, all right? Okay, so you see they choose which category is this one. So you can maybe just put it wherever you want to put it, right? Like question 1, and maybe I don't know, you just give it a name, maybe question 3 or whatever. Okay. And now, first of all, I just want to browse through everything. So here, that's where you put your question, and then let's assume what's the question that you can put there. Let's just say COVID-19 for now. Okay. And that is the question. And then what's the default marks for that one? Maybe it's a 2 marks question. Okay. Now this is the option that we're asking for. So 1 answer only or multiple answer. So let's assume you add multiple answer allowed. Okay. And then shuffle the choices. And then how do you want them to be at A, B, or like this? So let's assume we want this one. Okay, and then you put the choices there. I don't know. Okay, and now this grade. Now, if somebody gives you coronavirus, then that is 100%. That's the correct one. Okay, and then choice. Let's assume these 2 are right. What COVID-19 is what? Let's assume it's corona. Right. Okay. Let's assume these 2 are the correct one. So we bought this also. It's also 100%. Okay, and then the rest are wrong. So I don't know. Okay. Whatever. Okay. You can have as many as you want. Yeah. And yeah. So basically, again, these are the feedbacks that you can have, or you can change the feedback. Up to you. And then multiple tries. This is when you allow students to, if they got it wrong, then they can go back and try it again. You know, and then what penalty they get for the second try and whatnot. But if you don't use that, obviously you can just put it, you don't even set it up, you just give 1 try and then that's it. Okay.
Roger, just a moment.
Yes, hello?
Roger, where you put your, okay, do you put, because it's 2 choices, do you want them to get 100% for whatever choice they put, or so? Okay, you put 50%, 50%.
50%. Yeah. Okay. Now, because personally, I never use 2 answers. Okay. So now they are telling you if you have 2 answers, it means if you choose A, you get 50%, and then when you choose B, you also get 50%. You see now that's where the difference between this one and the previous one. I don't know if even that's what you're trying to refer to.
Yeah, so because they say the positive grades you have chosen do not add up to 100%. So if they add up to, so shouldn't you put 50% for each one?
Correct.
There's the one that is more correct. Or maybe, for example, if this one is the more correct one, you maybe give this one 60 and that one 40.
Yes. That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah. So if this one, maybe because this towards the correct answer, maybe you say if somebody says that one is 75, but if somebody says this, we'll only get 25, but it's still right, but not.
But the point of a multi-answer is you have two multi-answers, two correct answers, or you. Oh, okay, yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
No, but I think then here, it's the person setting can actually decide the weighting.
Which, yes, the weightings for the answers. Yes, that makes sense. Yeah.
I don't know who asked this question. If you still have any question here. The person who asked about multiple answers. Okay.
Hi, yes, that's me. Thank you. Yeah, I knew how to do that. I was just worried about importing. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, so this will be saved. And then let's add another step of question. Let's try to do this one. Let's try to do this one. Calculated one. All right, so I'm gonna call this maybe Q4. Okay. For this one, let's try to see what I can write on this one. Okay, so this one is not a multiple choice. I want them to do some calculations for me. And then again, I want the class to have, let's say, to calculate the surface of a rectangle. Okay. Okay, and then I want them different values of the length and the width. Okay, so I don't want to give them the same size. Let's say, for example, I want this one to have different values of the sizes. So what I do is I put it like that, L as a wildcard in centimeters, and I'm going to show you just now why I put it that way. Okay. Now, and this is maybe, let's say, 5 marks. Okay. Now, this is where we put our formula. We know that to get the surface is that and that, right? Let's assuming that. So what we do, we put L and then somebody getting that one, that's everything. And then the tolerance is again relative. I mean, it's up to the lecturer. Do you want them to be strict to give you the exact numbers, or obviously you can go somebody who's close to the answer, maybe there is 0.05% the correct, you know, so it's up to you. Or I mean, you can just put 0, 0, 0. There's no tolerance at all. Okay, and then we've got how many decimal places. Okay, you can have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's up to you. Okay, let's assume it's 2. Okay, and then there is another thing here now is unit handling. Okay. Okay. Now here is if you want the students to give you the unit and then you're gonna grade the unit if they got it right or wrong. So what we do is you choose this one. But if the unit does not matter, then it's up to you. You don't have to put this one. Okay. Let's assume you want them to put it. So you have to put it that way. And then you come here under unit. Now you need to tell the system which unit are you putting. Okay. In our case, we were using centimeters. So it's going to be centimeter square, right? So we come here and then we put centimeter square. Okay. And again, multiple tries if you obviously you want them to keep on trying and failing, and then you penalize them. Okay. Now, so first part you are done, but you haven't given them the values of these two. Okay. So let's see what the next page will give us. Okay. We found that there are two wildcards, the L and the W. Okay. So you just want to use a private data set as before, and then these ones you just leave them as they are. But obviously you can try around and see what they do, because we just leave them the way they are. Go to the next page. Okay. Now you give the range of your wildcard. What's the range of your L? Okay. So since L is the large size, let's say maybe it starts from 8 to maybe 20, and then I'm just going to give them a random value there, right, between 8 and 20. So we're going to say 9, and then 1 decimal place. But it's up to you. Uniform, you leave it as it is. And then this is the small size. Small size, then we go maybe from 1 to 8. But of course, it's up to you. You can put whatever. Okay. And then this is just a typical example on how to calculate update, because it was using the previous one. Let's update. Okay. So this is how the answer will look like. Okay. Now, how many sets of answers do you want? How many sets of lengths do you want? Okay. Let's say you want 10 different values, or you want 20 different values. So it means you can have a class of 50 students, and then they have 20 sets of answers. It's up to you. So in this case, let's try 20. And then I add. Right. Now, if you come back, you will now see that they give you, you're gonna have 20 sets of L and 20 sets of W, which will give you 20 sets of answers. Okay. We can actually even display them and then see them how they look like. So you just display 5 and see how it's gonna look like. Okay. Okay, so 20 data, the answer will be that. 19 and so forth. So once you are happy with this, all right. So you've got 2 questions here, and then before I start the third one, do we have any question on this one?
Sorry, setting the length was a bit tricky for me. I don't know if you can just go over that bit quickly.
Okay. All right. So if we want the class to have different values, let's say of X, of L and W, so this is what we do. We put them as wild cards. So we put them as wild cards. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, so you put them that way, and then you just put the formula, and then obviously it's gonna give you that. And then, so this page, the unit part, is if you want to mark the unit or not. Okay. Once you're done with that, you go to the next part. Okay, they're gonna confirm with you that you've got 2 wildcards, this one and that one. So if you are happy with that, then you go to the next page. And now here, that's where now you set those wildcards. Let's say our value of L is a number between 8 and 20. Could be a number between 8 and 20. And then the range of W is a number between 1 and 8.
Okay.
Yes. So for you, it could be different. It could be maybe between 10 and 50, whatever. Okay. And then I want different set of answers. Let's say 20 different set of answers. So you're going to come to edit and then you choose the number of set of answers that you want here. Maybe you want 30 different set of values, or maybe 50 or whatever, it's up to you. Once you choose the number of set of answers that you want, then you edit.
Okay.
Once you're done, then it's going to be appearing there.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Do we have any other questions?
Yes, I do have one. Do you have to have always 2 wildcards, or you can use 1, or you can use more, say 3, depending on what?
As many as you want. As many as you want. You can have 1, you can have 2, 3, it's up to you.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. Any other questions?
Sorry, Roger.
Yes, hello?
Hi. Sorry, a question. If, I mean, at the end, I must have a report, right?
Yeah.
And is the report, how is the format of the report? I mean, there is the name of the students, how they answer to the question.
Okay, no, that one we will see after. We're going to see after the test. For now, we're still setting the test, but the report will come after the test, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we saved that question.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes. Do we have a kind of a manual for how complicated the calculating formulas might be? So because you showed us multiplication, I assume that it supports like addition and subtraction. But if I need to have square roots, sines, cosines, do we have something like this? I mean, which functions are allowed?
Oh, okay. Actually, you just go to help. They're going to show you everything is allowed. You can put power, you can put square, you can put root square. And the only thing is that, let me just go back to quickly. You mean like here, like when you have to put the equation over here?
Yes, yeah. I mean, like, do we have a list of allowed operation, and what is the syntaxes of those operations?
No, but I think all mathematics equations are allowed. But now what you mean is like the manual and how to write each one of them. I think that's what you're going to find in Google Help. They're going to give you how to write. For example, if you have 8 to the power 4, how do you write it here? You need to go to Google Help. You see where I show you in the help. You just click on quiz help, and then they're going to show you all those equations as you're asking for.
Just a quick comment, Roger. Yeah, Moodle has got a page which has got a set of the allowed functions. So you can so if you search even on your Moodle page, you can search for help and on the type of questions. So it gives you a list of all the syntax and the functions that are available for use with this type of questions, the numerical type.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I can send you a link later on of where the web page which has got the.
You can just send it to the chat so everybody could see it.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just quickly. Yes, I'll check it out.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Evan. Thank you, Evan. Please send it for everybody so they can actually see how to write all those equations that they were wanting to find out. Okay. Now, so these questions we're done for this question. Let's now add another question. So we are, as you can see, it's different type of question, and then you can add them differently. So let's now add another question. Maybe this one. Okay. And then let's call this maybe question 5. All right. So in this question, I want to put a particular image, and I want students to maybe use that image as a reference to the question. So you see under here, there's all these options that you can put here. Okay. So if I want to insert an image, so I just click over there, and then I browse to where the image is. Okay, that's it. image. And then let me just resize it because it's too big. Okay, so if I'm happy with it, there's the image. Yeah, so that's the image I want my student to see while they are calculating whatever that I want to ask them. So let's assume the question is, I don't know, find X or whatever that question is. Find okay. So so if you click over here, they will show you some advanced mathematics that you can add. Right? So you can literally write like a Microsoft Office or like your, what is this platform that people use? Microsoft, no. So you can literally write any equation here. So let's say, for example, I say find maybe the peak here. So let's say D 1 1 0, right, equal. Okay. Now you now want them to enter the value there. So what I do again, I open the bracket, and you start first with the mark. Let's say this is a 2-mark question. So you put 2, and then put a column, and then you want them to enter a numerical value. So numerical value, then you put it, and then what is that value now? Now you know the answer now. Let's say the answer is 30, right? And then you close that curly bracket. Okay. Right, and then next you want them to find maybe I don't know what, force, mass. I don't know, it's maybe again 2 marks, and then it's a numerical answer, and then maybe the answer is 50. Okay. So you can even say maybe 50 kg, right? Up to you. Okay. So now, this is a very straightforward one. You just can put, there are so many ways for you to write that, right? So you can either type it like this, or you can come and open this equation editor here, and it's going to open up this equation editor. You can edit it the way using this mathematical equation here. So it's literally, I mean, it's really, really, really up to you how you want to write your equation here. Sorry. Okay. So as I said, so many options, and then there are so many ways of using it. You can write the way you can, try to play around with it on your free time, and then see which one works for you, and then you use it accordingly. Okay. So let's assume these are the two that I want to save it, and then I'm done. I save that. Okay. Now I want to see the quiz. Okay, before I move forward, let's first see if we have any question, clarity, seeking, or whatever, and then we can move on. Okay, I see a question like, how do you go, where to go to upload the image? Okay. All right, so let's go back there. Okay. Upload the image, you just click here, insert the image. You can even insert a video file, or even a voice note. If you can record, just click there, and then it's going to be with the instruction that you're going to save yourself saying something to this student, and then they will be listening to you. Or you can record a video. So there are all these options you can insert and this particular type of file. Hello? Okay. All right. So once you're happy, you save it, right? Okay. So now, again, you please check here. This is 4, 5, 2, that is 11. So you adjust that one to 11, right? Okay, you are happy? Go back. Okay, now where's the clip? So this one. Okay, so we start on that one. Preview. That was the first test that the first question that we set. Yeah. Now, you see, calculate the angle. Now, I only put L and W. For me, these are the values that they gave me. Okay. And then you need to calculate that. I don't know, this comes that and then put a value there. Now, I want to show you something quickly. So if you come here, edit question. Oh, sorry, I went wrong place. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's read this question. No, not yet. Sorry. Yeah, supposed to be, yeah. Okay, so let's say it's, what is this value? Let's just put 90 something. Okay. And then next page. And then that's the third question that we set. So D11 is that. And maybe, I don't know, 98, and then math is 50. Okay. Once it's done, submit. So it's a pretty straightforward kind of I don't know if you have any questions. Okay, so everybody is happy. All right, so either I can't hear you. You are all happy. Okay, I'm just gonna go back here quickly. Okay, just gonna go quickly here. Really see the last one. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna leave this because you know how to set up. Okay, so again, I'm gonna just explain a few things here because I'll cover most of the things that I wanted to cover. Now, the only thing left for me to cover is for you how to see how students performed on a particular quiz, on a particular test, how they're doing it in a particular test. But unfortunately, I won't be able to show you in details here because nobody attempted it. But anyway, I'm just going to show you where to go to get all those statistics. All right. Now, again, question types. So you can see all these different types of questions that you find available on Moodle. Try to play around with them. Obviously, we cannot do one by one. I'll just show you a couple of them, and then you can obviously click and try to play around, and also following the link that has been sent to all of us, and also clicking on help. You will actually see that they are really easy to create questions. And also try to go to Google. Just Google a question like maybe, I don't know, calculated multiple choice questions on Moodle, you will see a lot of people who've done it before and then they've uploaded things there. So it's really easy to do a small search and find out how things work. Like maybe drag and drop, how does it work? You can always search it. And if you want to use it. And again, it's not like everything that is there, you need to use all of them. Obviously, you can just stick maybe to one or two that you think is all your module goes well with. Maybe this one, you just stick to that one. Or maybe just change here and there, but it's up to you. You can just try to search more, and then you will find how different type of question works. And but I think I covered the most part. You can save your question on question bank at the beginning of the semester. You just save everything there, and then whenever it takes time, you just go to the question bank and get all the questions there. Or you can just, obviously, if you have time, to set up one by one the way we showed you that. Okay. Before we now go into the grade and statistics and whatnot, do we have any just general question on what we've done today? Okay. That might.
I think we can catch up with some of them.
Yeah.
Now, I said you've given good basics for us to work with.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so it's just basics, and then this is literally giving you a way to, like, you can see that you can write any type of question that you want, and then you can formulate, you can change it. People won't be able to cheat because they will have different values. They're going to shuffle the questions, they're going to shuffle the options. So you have all those options to play around to avoid cheating even during the quiz. Yeah. Okay, so since my thing, see quickly if I'll be able to see from here. Okay, no, not be able to see. Okay, so if you check here on your right hand side, there is grade there. If you can check under navigation, you will see here grades. Yeah. So if you click on grades there, okay. Now this gives you a statistics of everything that you've written, like assignment 1, quiz 1, test, everything that you've done in class will be shown here into this particular grade. But it's just that mine, nobody has written anything. If you click on any particular module assessment, like test and whatnot, they will be able to report you like question by question. So we'll see question. I don't know. You have this shows. Can you please share with everybody, maybe one of your quiz, how they are performing per question? Because I know they've written something on your quiz online. Maybe
okay.
Yeah, just one of the results of one quiz, a different mark, so they can see how they can track, like, this question, how many people passed, how many people fail on this particular question, and whatnot.
Okay, yeah, I can share on one of the quizzes, yeah. So I'll share.
Yeah, please share that one.
Can you all hear me? Right. So I've given several quizzes for my students. So let me just take one where they completed. So this particular one here. So if you open, if I click on this, I see that 73 of them are attempted. And if I click on these attempts, I'm able to see now for each student. So I gave this quiz it had 6 questions. So you are able also to see which particular question was difficult for the student, and yeah. And also Moodle can give you, you say that is not a normal distribution at all. But you are able to also see the distribution of the final mark of this quiz here. So, and you can also download this information here. You can choose what format you want. So if you want CSV, you can choose it as CSV, or if you want it as an Excel spreadsheet or all these other complicated looking file types. So you can download those and save them to Excel. And if you want to upload to your SMS, so once you have saved these, it saves with the name, the student number, the email address. I mean, you can also just hide all this other information in your Excel and copy whatever you want to your SMS, and you have your information on SMS. Okay, I hope that helps.
Thank you so much, Evan. Thank you. Do you have any questions on this, or we can?
Or you want to see, for example, if okay. You can also review the attempt of each student. For example, this particular student, so you can see how they were doing in each particular question. So this also allows you to see the answers that they were putting and stuff. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, because if they don't have marks, like on my case, I won't be able to see this. But if they finish, then you'll be able to see this particular.
Okay.
Page. Yeah.
So I'm going to stop sharing this. Okay. Right. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions on anything before we close the day?
No, Roger, thank you very much for sharing. I mean, I really appreciate it. It's been very helpful. You're not going to be popular with my students, but thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Roger.
Thank you very much.
Roger,
yes,
so when I'm in the middle of something and the help function can't really help me, how can we quickly get live assistance?
Oh, you can contact ICS. There is a support email that is there on the. They will assist you with any questions live. But everybody, if it's not too difficult, you can forward the question to me, and I'll see if we can answer.
All right. Thank you, Roger.
No problem. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you so much, everybody.
All right. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Roger. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.